Welcome back to the Geek Easy Podcast, our new spin-off podcast series from the Geek Easy Podcast, where we're going back and watching all of the Undertaker's WrestleMania matches. I am Pixel Dan,
Jonathan Leonard,
and Jaron McCaffrey.
And we've got 3 brand new matches to discuss today. You guys excited?
Well, they're not brand new.
Oh, well, the matches are not brand new.
They're actually pretty old.
They're brand new to this show. We have not discussed them here yet.
Yep.
So
I've seen them all before.
I also have seen these before. Although, I don't think I've watched any of these matches today, probably since they first happened.
Yeah.
I saw 2 of them live.
Did you?
Yeah.
Which ones were you
The
at?
good ones.
Oh, okay. The second 2 that we're going to
Yeah.
be. So today we are doing 1999, 2001, and 2002. Because he skipped WrestleMania 2000.
Yeah, there was not.
Luckily.
There was not an Undertaker
Luckily.
match in 2000. I know because I kept bringing it up on the network and going, "Where is the?" Oh,
Which is Jaren's favorite WrestleMania too, right?
That's not. It is not.
That's the WrestleMania where every match is a multi-man
Did every
craziness.
single match. Every single match.
Yeah.
that one's got a special place in my heart because I also saw that one live. And it was the first one I went to. And so I always remember that as being a good one until I actually start watching part of it again.
That one has a special place in my heart because it was the first one that happened after I became a wrestler.
Yep. Right.
And I still hate it. I can't. The rose-colored nostalgia glasses are not thick enough to blind me to how terrible that WrestleMania is. Speaking of terrible WrestleManias, we start with WrestleMania 15 today.
1999. This is The Undertaker in full-on Ministry of Darkness mode versus corporate Big Bossman.
Inside
Inside a hell
in a cell.
Pal.
I don't do much of a Vince.
Mine is terrible.
These guys are fine though.
Mine's terrible from what I hear on the internet.
I don't think.
I think it's fun.
I like it. It's no your Schwarzenegger. But
I do that real good too. Nobody said my impressions were accurate. They're just funny. That's all. That's all I'm going for.
Yeah.
All right, so let's jump right into this. So, Ministry of Darkness Undertaker. Did you guys watch the video package that led up to this one?
Yes.
I didn't.
Because the video package.
It was a pretty epic video package.
It was a super epic video package. That's what I was like. I wrote down. I was like, "There's actually some decent stuff in this feud," because this was the whole storyline where the Undertaker was like full on evil and was like trying to take over the company, and so they kind of played Vince and the corporation as the baby faces against him, which is weird.
Yeah.
But like the stuff they were doing was actually kind of cool because this is when Taker was running around kidnapping members of Vince's family and then tying people to the Undertaker symbol and crucifying them.
Burning the Undertaker symbol in his front yard.
Yeah, burning the symbol in his front yard. All kinds of crazy stuff.
And the boss man was the only one to step up for the fight.
Just getting ready to say.
Look what he got for it.
I was gonna say, this video package is epic. It actually makes the feud look pretty good. I don't know how it built up to a WrestleMania Hell in a Cell match against the Big Boss Man.
I don't think the boss man was hardly even in the video package.
I know!
The video package was all Taker and Vince.
It's like they didn't know what to do. Do we know, has it come out? Were there other plans or something that fell through? Or were they just was this one of those just famous cases where they had no idea where this was actually going and they just kind of because this storyline definitely ended bad. We all know how this ended. It was me, Austin.
Yeah,
it was me the whole time. That's how this ended.
I don't know if this was. I feel like just this was. Man, when they were this was like full on Russo, and this whole pay-per-view is just like a one big Raw. So I don't think they probably put any thought into it. They were just like, well, because Ken Shamrock was also in the ministry, or was in the corporation.
Yeah,
Ken Shamrock was in the corporation, but he was tied up in the Intercontinental title stuff.
Okay.
Who else did they have in the Goodness gracious.
Who was the corporation? Was H was part of the corporation,
H,
right?
yeah, H was part of the corporation.
Couldn't have been Triple H.
No. H was still part of
he
the.
still DX?
He turned that night.
This was the night he joined the corporation.
This was the night he joined the corporation.
Interesting. Okay.
Wasn't The Rock part of it?
The Rock was was part of the corporation. He was obviously tied up with the Austin stuff.
Was Big Show in it then? Or
Probably Big Show, because Big Show fought Mankind to. This is just now. It's a WrestleMania review.
We got to set the stage.
Big
for
Show.
this epic
Big Show
battle.
fought. Yeah, Big Show fought Mankind to determine who was going to referee the main event.
Oh yeah.
So that was probably and then the Stooges were part of the corporation.
Yeah. Briscoe
I think
and Patterson.
Yeah. So I do think China was part of the corporation at this point. Kane was kind of off and on part of the corporation.
That's like when they were making him.
Because Kane.
Right?
Yes.
They were
like corporate Kane.
Yeah.
And Kane, because Kane wrestled Triple H that night.
Yeah.
Shane and the Mean Street Posse were part of the corporation.
Oh, so many memories.
So this is everything, because this was the night Shane fought X-Pac.
That was this night?
That was this night.
So, okay.
So what we're saying is this match wasn't a standout disaster.
Everything I just named was better than this match, though. But we're starting to see why, they lined all this stuff up, and then they ended up with, well, I guess we'll just do Bossman and Undertaker.
Yeah, for sure.
How do we make people care about that at all? Let's put it in the Hell in a Cell.
That didn't work.
Yeah. That did not work at all.
You see the problem here, though? Because, the corporation is still heels. And every other match they have that night is a heel match. So, they're actually telling this epic story, but, they're still playing the bad guys everywhere else on the card. Well, and so we have this match where, because I even wrote it down, I was like, so wait, are we supposed to be cheering for Bossman? Because I don't think anybody knows that in the crowd.
Right.
I don't think anybody knew. I think everybody in the crowd was getting nachos or something.
Dude, no joke. They were silent. They were just the most mundane, quiet crowd you have ever seen for a cage match at all. It was terrible.
I like the idea of having multiple heel factions, and I don't mind the idea of them running head to head from time to time. Mm-hmm. It's just a thing that's got to be done well. Yeah. And if it is, it's great.
Tough. Yeah.
But it's really hard.
It's hard.
And they barely seem to even particularly try here.
I don't know. I mean, it seemed like like you say that, and it seems like this is kind of the outlier. I mean, so even the stuff with because the video package all looked like really good stuff, but it had nothing to lead up to. They weren't going to do Vince and Taker in the cell. Yeah. And really, honestly, this all had to happen just a month earlier we had Vince and maybe a little more than a month. Valentine's Day Massacre. Oh, we had Vince and Austin in the cage. So between Valentine's
Day, that's where Big Show showed up.
Right. So between Valentine's Day Massacre and this is when we've had all this stuff with Taker and Vince, and it built, and who does he have in the ministry to fight Taker?
Yeah. Well, and in fairness too, Undertaker's a worker. He's worked solid matches with guys way worse than Big Bossman. Yeah. Who in his time also a pretty good worker. So this is one of those things you could have thrown together, and it might have just turned into magic that nobody necessarily saw coming. Yeah. But it didn't.
Well, I think the cage really hurt him. One of my notes while watching this match is just and thinking back was just how poorly Bossman adapted to the times. He was, his wrestling style, his in-ring style, his character stuff was so outdated.
It was that's exactly how I felt. Because
he went from the old county police outfit to a flak jacket.
Yeah,
right. Didn't change anything.
Right.
Else.
Yep.
So this is like a Hell in a Cell match, and I mean we all know. Even now, when you say that, you know what kind of a match you expect to see with the Hell in a Cell. Big Boss Man worked this match like it was a classic style cage match in the 80s.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And he's doing that in front of an Attitude Era crowd who has been totally desensitized at this point because they're used to seeing dudes gushing blood and beating each other over the head with chairs repeatedly.
Yep.
And the worst thing he did in this match was give Taker a bunch of worked nightstick shots that they did not react to at all. Yeah. Because they were obviously worked nightstick shots. You know what I mean? Yep. Like Taker even drew color off of those. Yeah. And I was kind of like, bro, really off that?
Taker,
come on, man.
Yeah, Taker got color off of those. Bossman got color off of going into the cage.
Yeah.
You know?
And they even barely
got color.
did
started to bleed.
Started to bleed. Yeah.
Started to bleed. Sorry, guys.
Look what he got for all his efforts.
I guess, man.
You know, they didn't even barely do that stuff, like running into the cage or anything. It was so minuscule how much they utilized the cage. The cage was almost meaningless in this match.
Well, and it had become, I mean, Hell in a Cells, especially around that time, meant someone's coming off of that thing at some point. Like, there's going to be a giant stunt somewhere.
Right.
They didn't even tease one.
Right.
So.
Well, you know what the giant stunt is. It's at the very end.
Yeah.
And the more I'm thinking about it, the more I'm like, okay, they had an idea to do that stunt at the end.
Yeah.
And not this action. Like this match probably exists so that they could pull off the crazy hanging thing at the very end.
It's just like I said.
Doesn't that sound like a Russo thing?
Yeah.
What do you got for Taker at Mania?
What if he came out and hanged somebody?
What if he hangs somebody, bro? What if he hangs somebody,
He's
bro?
the Undertaker, bro. He's gotta hang somebody.
Yeah. And then they just figured out how to make that happen, and Hell in a Cell is how they did it.
Yeah.
That's totally how this just got booked. We figured it out. We got the key. I barely have any notes on this because it was so mundane and boring and nothing happened.
The remembering Michael Cole's roots as being just the worst. Just the
worst. It's been a long road to get to the Michael Cole we have now.
Like, it took a long time for Michael Cole to grow on me, and I figured out why. You know, there's a point in there where he's like, You can get a finger caught in that cage right there, and was trying to make a big deal out of that. I'm just going,
finger. Yeah, great.
Cole, come on.
Well, he was trying to contrast the cell because the cell was the hurricane fence, and the cages were still Big Blue at that time.
Right.
Yeah.
So this was
the last.
This was only the second Hell in a Cell, right? The first one was Taker and Michaels.
Third.
Oh, third, because the Taker and Mankind happened before. Oh my gosh, how does this follow Taker and Mankind?
That was what I was saying.
Yeah.
Like, they kept seeing the Hell in a Cells where something bonkers happened in the middle of the match, and this one is just like,
well, you know, even the Taker,
two guys plotting around.
The Taker Michaels one is real good, and they didn't even get that. Like, Mankind obviously upped the insanity level, but Taker and Michaels had an epic match in the Hell in a Cell.
Yeah,
it's insane, like how just like house show this match feels. Like, seriously,
were those handcuffs supposed to break?
No, because I wrote LOL handcuffs broke. Because he was like, he put it on Taker, he chained him to the cage, he hit Taker bumped, and they snapped.
Well, the worst part about that is Michael Cole goes, "Did you see that? Taker ripped the cuffs loose as he fell." Like, no, he didn't, Cole.
Yeah.
We know. We saw it. He just fell.
There was a section towards the end, I think it was, where they just started giving each other shots back and forth.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that 10 seconds. I was like, well, if nothing else, these guys can both punch. I'll tell you that much.
Well, I felt that as a worker. I was like, I feel you, bro. I feel you guys. I feel you. It's time because they're in there going, what do we do, man?
What do you do?
Just
the crowd's
can we just call it?
Yeah. Just the crowd's still there.
Yeah. Just tombstone me, bro. Just tombstone me. Let's get out of here.
I'm almost certain that's how it had to have happened, because that tombstone popped up out of nowhere, and it was just the end of the match. Like, there was no build up to it. It was just like, tombstone, go home. Then that's what happened. Good grief. Okay, so like, we do have to say though, like, so the match ends after that tombstone, and then the Brood comes like.
Yep.
Which I
had forgotten about the Brood being part of the ministry stuff and all that.
Yeah. So Edge and Christian and Gangrel come rappelling down, and that's when they toss the noose down, and
that's just like, man, like, I was watching that happen. I was like, man, two of these guys are going to be such huge stars. That's why I love wrestling. Because you just never know.
So did you notice, like after they threw the noose in and they did a little symbol so that they could, like, get their call to get back up? Yep. Did you see Edge get stuck?
Yeah.
Yep. It's in my notes. It's in my notes. It's like, Edge is just dangling there.
Christian and Gangrel are gone, and Edge is going. He's just, like, hanging there, and I was like, yes!
And also, like, they clearly hadn't rehearsed too often the mechanics on just getting that rope into the ring.
Yeah.
You know? It's like, just take your time with that rope. Take your time with that rope, guys. We got all night.
Yeah.
Because they're just sitting there kicking that thing and trying to get a hole in there so they can drop that rope down.
Yeah, they had to, like, legitimately tear the top off the cage. Like, why wouldn't you guys give it the top of the cage?
Exactly. Right. Like, nobody was going up there. You weren't causing a hazard or anything like that.
Well, I wonder if how many times they'd rehearse that at all, because somebody would have realized how bad the harness looked.
Oh yeah,
like because you could just see, like, you could clear as day see the harness clip to
Bossman's jacket,
Bossman's jacket, and it pulled the jacket way out. Like, that dude was not hanging by his neck.
Like, when he was actually hanging and he did the kicking and he just started dangling or whatever, and then he just kept spinning around to the wrong side, so Taker had to grab him and, like, spin him back so the camera could see him.
I didn't notice.
You didn't notice that?
Oh, that's so awesome.
For sure. I remember noticing that when I saw it before I was a wrestler.
Well, I don't even know.
It's like that scene in Thor Ragnarok. I'll be right back around.
Yeah. Oh my god, that's so good.
It's somewhere in the middle of the hanging stuff. I don't know exactly where I wrote this note, but one of my notes
Just says, this is stupid.
Yeah.
So dumb.
Well, they didn't.
So dumb.
They didn't. Michael Cole the whole time keeps going, and
He was going, is this symbolic?
Is this symbolic? Yeah,
I'm like,
symbolic? He murdered somebody, Michael Cole.
Michael Cole, he's just dead.
Yeah.
He just straight hung somebody.
That's not a symbol. That's just a thing.
That's just murder.
Yeah.
You should probably call the cops right now.
So
I watched that with Christina, and she was just like, "This has to be the worst thing that's ever happened on wrestling, right?" And I was like, "It's ranked there.
Yeah.
Like, it's definitely ranked there."
I mean, bottom 20 maybe, but
it's gotta be there. Some like that.
I can think of two things right off the top of my head that are worse.
Okay.
But that's well, so Katie Vick.
Okay, yep, Katie Vick.
And that time Bossman fed Al Snow his dog.
His dog.
What about the time?
It's pepper steak.
What about the time Bossman hooked Paul White's dad's coffin up to a truck and drove it around the cemetery?
Bossman was involved in some of the worst stuff. Oh my god.
Dude, he must have been the guy that they could just ask to do anything and he'd be down for. You know what I mean? Like who will steal somebody's dad?
Ray,
Bossman.
Yeah. Ray, you want to steal Paul White's dad? Check gonna clear?
Yeah.
Or maybe
this is how he hung in the Attitude Era.
Yeah.
This is like I got to keep my job somehow.
Yeah, you want to update your style? Nope.
Yeah.
You want to drive around with a coffin attached to a truck? Sure.
Okay.
Maybe Bossman was just that guy backstage. Hey guys, what if I came out, stole his dad's corpse? And
probably,
you know,
and Vince is going, yes,
yeah.
But where's Vince Russo?
Bro, I'm already writing the script, bro.
Crash TV, bro.
Yeah, I know the
Crash TV.
I know the sheet of paper like this. This is just a bunch of exclamation points. I know that's all my scripts.
It's so cute that you think Vince was reading those scripts.
Oh my god.
Good stuff, Vinny Roo.
All right, great stuff. 1999 was so good. Okay.
We can't fire him. He's got my same name.
So I gotta add for the final thing before we move on.
Okay, final thing.
Not only do they just is Michael Cole they're hanging this guy, right? And Michael Cole is just like going, is this symbolic? What does this mean, King? Is this symbolic? Oh. Then they immediately kick right over. Like the boss man is hanging in the ring, and Michael Cole's like, well, I don't know if this is symbolic or what, King, but last night at the Rage Party, it was a big show. I was like, just right into it like that. Boss man's hanging in the ring. And they just cut
right over to
they got business to get to,
I guess, man.
I know. Like, did they even like?
There was no.
They never even like really brought this back up. Like, I guess Bossman is just dead, except he just shows back up on Raw the next night, right?
Well, they did bring it up on Raw the next night because he came out and he came out and attacked some people and he was kind of crazy, not like crazy, but he was like you know, they were like, the boss man is incensed, you know, he's after what the Undertaker did to him last night, he's just you know, out of it. Like they did mention it, and it did drive his character for a little bit, but
they totally should have played that up more. Or if the timing had been better, he could have just been the ECW zombie.
Well, they maybe that's why they let his character do all that crazy stuff later on, because he was brain damaged from that time he got hung.
Oh my god, that was just their excuse.
Boss Man was dead for 7 minutes one time. He came back a little deranged. Now he steals.
It's like one of those movies where the serial killer jumps into somebody else's body or something like that. When they die, except he just jumps back into his own body.
Yes.
They pet cemeteried him.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
All right, shall we move on?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right,
Please.
so that's going to bring us to 2001.
Why do I have less notes for this match than I did for Bossman?
Yeah.
Because I was enjoying this match.
Yeah.
So this is
Triple H.
Triple H. This is his first match against Triple H at a WrestleMania.
Yep.
So Triple H got played in by Motorhead, and I wrote down Lemmy forgot the words.
Man, didn't he, dude?
Dude,
That and let me get out there and sing as fast as you can.
Yeah.
The tempo.
Yeah.
They played the crap out of that song. They were for real. They were on business that night.
Yeah, totally.
I did catch. This is totally off subject, but in the on the network on the search bar there, when they used to just completely erase like any Chris Benoit matches from the search at all. Like this one, it had it on there, but it just said Kurt Angle in singles action. And then end of Kurt Angle in singles action.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I don't know if they're doing that.
Well, that's still better than just
at least now you can.
Now you can skip to it at least. Interesting.
Well, did you notice? Not to take us back, but since we're talking about other stuff, did you guys happen to catch the opening video for this WrestleMania?
Mm-mm.
It was like a Michael Bay.
Really?
Movie. Yeah, they kept shooting like specifically like Armageddon. You know remember how they'd like pan through all those shots of like people around the world at different times getting scared or rejoicing, you know, whatever. It was totally one of those. It was totally that, but they were all watching different WrestleManias. But it was totally shot in that style. Like it looked like Michael Bay had shot. I was like, well, this is kind of neat, you know.
Epic opening.
Yep.
Super cool. So this is last match we saw was Ministry of Darkness Taker. Now we have the American Badass.
Yep.
And I wrote down, why am I marking out for Roland right now? Because that music hit and he came on a motorcycle and all of a sudden I was like, hold the phone, and like I got all excited, and I don't know if it's just been a long time, but like I was way into this entrance, dude. But also, so was this crowd.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Like, this is total night and day from the match we just watched with Bossman, because this crowd is on fire through the entirety of this match. And it elevates this match, I think, because of how excited everybody is.
Yeah.
Oh, it's always great to see that excitement.
Yeah.
Well, so this really, like, Taker was so over. Taker was comparable to Austin and Rock here. I mean, nobody was ever as over as Austin.
Right.
But like Taker was in that same mention here, you know, Rock, Austin, Taker. Mm-hmm. Like you really got to see that. And you know, that kind of like you talk about it being night and day from the last Mania we watched. That speaks to like the legacy of the Taker, you know. At 15, he wasn't doing anything they were really into. They didn't really react to him. As soon as he came back around, like they were ready for that. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Because he skipped to WrestleMania.
Right.
So now he's back for this match.
Yep.
Man, are they just ready for it. They're so ready for it. It was awesome.
It was great.
And I don't remember the exact storyline going into this, but I assume it had something to do with Triple H officially wanted the gimmick of guy who buries people.
Yep,
he can't be the Undertaker anymore. I'm the one who's gonna bury people from now on. Okay.
Hey, had to get my cheap joke in.
So H is just like the heel Hogan, right?
Yo.
You know, he's a body guy. He's all charisma. You know, his in work is his in ring work is inconsistent, shall we say? Like he's just like
I feel that. I could feel that.
Yeah, he's just like the heel Hogan.
But Hogan was the heel Hogan for a while. I'm so confused.
He was that for a while. I love that this match started hot. They just were beating the poop out of each other. But Taker just kind of schooled H at the beginning.
How many times had the Spanish announce table been broken that night? Dude. Because it was just like one of those little wood tables by the time they got to the laziest table break ever.
I was going to say, my favorite part about that is he just kind of like punched H, and H just like fell backwards into it, landed on it, and then it just fell down.
Just broke away underneath him. I feel like that was probably like that almost seemed like a rib type thing. You know? Like give me this punch, I'm gonna fall on the table. Well, that's, it just fell on the table when it broke.
That would be my guess. Would be like it was already broken earlier, and so they just put that little wooden table up there, and they were like, "Screw it, let's do this."
Man, this is the match. This is the kind of match that Mania is made for.
Yeah. I agree.
This felt like
felt like a WrestleMania.
Yeah, it was a good guy and a bad guy, clear cut. Going at each other hard.
Yeah,
wrapping up a storyline. Yeah,
and I was gonna say like Taker. I thought Taker looked real good here. Like we had kind of talked about how he definitely put on some weight as the American Badass, but like here I felt like he was looking pretty good.
Yeah, he was looking better. I thought he looked better than he looked at 50. He was a little puffy at 15.
Yes, yep. I agree.
He definitely looked better.
I noticed that the announcers were really pushing his undefeated streak on commentary through this whole open. Yep. He's never been pinned at WrestleMania. He's never been defeated. They were doing that real hard.
I think this is the first time I heard him reference the number. Like they started counting here. I don't think they did.
This would have been not. Oh yeah, he's 8-0 when this match had started. Yeah. Right. Yeah, because this would have been his 9th one. Because I wrote down I'm really into this open, and then they immediately rolled into the ring, and then he did the old school, and this is the first time he actually did like old school, like he yelled it, and the crowd yelled it with him, and I was like, this is so great, but it was denied because H. That's where H cut him off and pulled him down. He did this. I wrote down H did this like hangman elbow thing, like he had Taker draped over the ropes, and then H was on the apron, and he jumped off to do an elbow on the back of Taker's head. But like he did that and just dove like straight off the side of the ring and like landed all on his side. I was like, oh my god, that was way worse for H than it was for Taker. Yeah. Like I'm not sure I think he probably got in the air and was like, what am I doing? Because that looked bad. It was
I just realized I don't know how to land this.
Yeah, how do I land this?
Some of those where you jump and go, I'll figure it out, and then as soon as you're in the area, you go, oh no, I won't.
Yeah, it looked gross. What did I don't know. The ref shove? Oh, yeah. Okay, because I wrote that ref shove, and then immediately I wrote that bell ringer bump because like they're shoving the ref around a lot in this, which is hilarious, and it just gets worse, which is super funny. But like Triple H goes out of the ring and he shoves the timekeeper or bell ringer guy, and he takes the most weird, awkward bump because he like falls backwards over the table and like slow motion plummets down to the top of his head on the ground. I was dying.
And it's so ridiculous because H like pushes him with one hand and he's like,
that's totally how it happened. It was amazing. I was cracking up. Oh my god.
It's like that's totally that guy. Like we see that guy on the indies. Yeah. Usually he's a ref or a manager.
Right.
But like that's the guy that's just so excited to do something, anything. Yep. And then he just way overdoes it. You know?
We know a couple of that guy.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I've seen that guy. I've met that guy. Yeah. This guy's like, hey, we got a spot for you in Mania. Triple H is going to shove you out of the way. I got it.
This.
That's actually just his reaction to the news. We got something for you. Woo! Yeah, pretty much that.
Yeah, let's do that. Yeah, but this is where H just grabs the sledgehammer.
Yeah, because all three of the matches we're going over today are all pretty much no holds barred.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the one of them's a hell of a sell, obviously, but the other two are all no DQs.
This one just kind of gets turned into it, though, right? Because H grabs the sledgehammer and gets in the ring, and the ref just goes, nope, and yanks it away from him. Because I wrote, this ref ain't taking crap. And then he argues with the ref and turns right around into the big choke slam. And Taker hits him with a huge choke slam, which looked awesome. But this was the best because Taker hits him with that choke slam and goes for the cover and just gets a 2 count. And Taker is so upset that it's only a 2 count. He looks at the ref and goes, "What?" And then goes over there, stomps on the ref, and elbow drops the ref. And I was just like, because he kicked out of a choke slam, Taker? Like, we're beating up the ref.
Mad.
Dude, I was. This match is amazing. Yeah. I was just loving every bit of this. Because, like, chaos. You can tell it's one of those matches that, it's chaos by design.
Yeah,
and you can tell. Yes. Like, all of this is so silly and over the top, but it's, like, supposed to be this way. And the crowd was just feeding right into every bit of it. Yeah. It was awesome.
Well, this is two true pros.
Right.
You know, doing what they... I mean, Triple H... this was Triple H coming off of his... epic heel run, his epic championship run, and needing to make sure he reestablishes himself.
Right.
This is Taker coming back as, his first WrestleMania in the new gimmick, knowing that he needs to reestablish himself.
Yeah. Right.
Like this is two guys going out there to steal the show.
Right. Absolutely. That they did a great job of it, I think.
Oh, for sure.
So this is where things get crazy because this is where they start the big fight all the way through the crowd.
Yep.
Which we don't see a lot of this anymore, to this extent,
right?
Because they're straight just going right through the crowd, throwing punches at each other.
H took that. It probably wasn't that sick, but it looked sick to me. That back body drop over the barricade in the first place, where he just landed right there on
I thought he was landing on people for that first camera angle.
I wish he had been, because as soon as they showed the ground, I went, oh,
yeah. Took that, and then they went up into the sound booth area.
Yeah, so let me talk about that because that upsets me.
Okay.
This whole part of this match hurts my soul. Okay. So they fight through the crowd and they fight up to this big AV tower.
Yeah.
And it's got cameras and all the sound equipment on it and all kinds of electrical stuff. And it's 4 or 5 stories tall.
Yeah.
For all appearances.
Right.
And so they fight up this tower to the 3rd level. So they fought up this tower. They fought 3 stories off the ground essentially. H gets a chair and lays down puts a beating on the Undertaker. Takes a second to play the crowd. When he turns around, Taker grabs him, lifts him up for the choke slam, and then throws him off the tower.
Yeah.
Okay. Amazing. Such a good visual.
Super good spot.
Such a cool spot.
Angle.
Yeah.
From this camera.
And then and it's so amazing. And then they cut to a shot of the whole crowd, they let everybody be stunned for a minute. The announcers react like, "Oh my gosh, can you believe it?" And the crowd's chanting, the holy S, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they cut to this shot of Triple H laying, and he looks like he's just laying on the ground, just writhing in pain.
The announcers even say he's on concrete.
Yeah.
They legitimately landed on that concrete.
And it's so good. And then they ruin it.
They did.
They ruin it so hardcore because then they show a replay from another angle where you can clearly 100% see he just takes that chokeslam down onto a big giant padded mattress.
Yep.
Was it the replay or was it when Taker jumped?
It was the replay.
Well, then they do that. Then they nail it in.
Okay. So I missed the replay then because I just caught it when Taker jumped. When I caught it and I went,
They show from 2 different angles in the replay where you can see it's clearly a big pad.
Yep. You see him just land on this big old crash pad, and it just sinks in. And you see it poofed up, and I wrote the exact same thing.
And then Taker comes off to drop the elbow, and they just shoot Taker jump onto the pad, and the pad folds and poofs around him, and H sells it. I remember watching this live, and being so disappointed.
Yep.
I'd even forgiven the fact because they show you climb up. They show these 2 guys fight up 3 levels of this tower. And then when they show where Triple H got choke slammed on, you can clearly see it's only about one level off the ground that H gets chokeslammed onto. But, for a second, that doesn't matter because it looks like he's just chokeslammed down on the concrete. You know what I mean?
I know.
And then they start showing the pad, and it just, man, it kills it. It kills everything.
It does, man.
I'm so mad, and I don't know who... I would be so angry at anybody who approved that.
Yeah.
Those replays to go. Like, who did that,
Kevin Dunn. They should have, because sometimes
it hurt my wrestling heart. You know how mad I would be if I was H or Taker.
Yeah.
And to watch that play through the first time, like when I go back and watch it later that night or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And I go back and I watch through and I'm like, I'd be watching it like, oh my gosh, that was so amazing. Look, they caught the perfect angle. It looked like I just got choke slammed from 3 levels. Oh, replay.
Oh man, you can see everything.
Yeah, and, I would have thought the same thing had Taker not jumped, but when you add that second spot to it, like that's just playing with fire,
right?
Like even if we pull this one off, and even if the replay hadn't ruined it, there was no chance that him jumping wouldn't have ruined it.
Yeah,
because to catch that at all, you have to show the whole thing,
right?
So I didn't know why they did that.
Yeah.
Well, and having Taker up there, and from a technical standpoint, having Taker up there would have given them the chance. He could have dropped down onto that pad. Then they film Taker climbing around. While they're filming Taker, they pull the pad out of the way, just lay him out on the concrete.
Which is what they've done a lot since then. Because
also, had they just stacked, 2 or 3 tables right there, would have broken his fall the same way.
Yeah, that's
you know what
true.
I mean? Like the same way as any pad would have.
Yeah.
It's disappointing.
Yeah, I agree. That because the replay totally ruined that. And we've seen,
it hurts me right in the wrestling.
Yeah, well, it does because we have seen them do high falls onto which are obviously on crash pads, but when the camera shows them laying on the ground selling, they've moved to concrete by that point, or you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
roll off it and sell on the ground.
They do some camera tricks or something, and that's totally how this should have been handled. Because I'm all about these guys being safe and not dying.
Yeah, I don't want anyone actually chokeslammed onto the concrete.
Let's keep the illusion alive, though, right? Because that's what this whole thing's supposed to be, is a nice illusion for us. So. Yep, I agree, absolutely.
So this match stunk.
No.
Oh no, that's not where we're going.
That was the big downer of the match for sure.
Yeah. Well, it's a big black eye on what would have been. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's one of those things like it breaks your suspension for that moment, and that is fatal.
Yep.
Yeah. Agreed. So they finally worked their way back to the ring, and I'm cracking up because that ref is still laying in the exact same spot dead from that one elbow drop that Undertaker gave him.
And the kick.
Yeah, man, that was just the most devastating.
Yeah.
That ref has not moved in 20 minutes. Like, he's just sleeping in the middle of the ring. And the best part about it is, he's laying there dead, and H goes over and shakes him, and the ref's like, oh, okay, and gets up and goes to make that count. But I cracked up because even JR is like, are you kidding me with this? Like JR was so mad that the ref got right up and started counting for H's pin. It was awesome. It was so awesome. I wrote, this is mayhem, but the crowd loves it.
Yep. It was...
So the tombstone attempt was awesome because it was backwards from the way we've seen it.
Yeah.
Because H had Taker up for the tombstone, and they did the reverse flip, and it went flawlessly. Yeah. And then Taker hit the tombstone and got a massive reaction because he was already he had changed his finisher to the last ride.
Yeah.
So I think hitting the tombstone was one of those, oh my God, the tombstone moments.
It was banned by now.
Oh, okay.
Those guys both got fined for doing it.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Wow.
Really?
Wow.
Yes.
Okay. So it was a beautiful spot though, because it was so perfect and the reaction was amazing. And then H kicked out and everybody freaked out because everybody thought it was over.
Yep.
So then he goes for the last ride, and I love this spot too because he goes for the last ride and H grabs that sledgehammer, and as he comes up, he blasts him in the forehead with the sledgehammer and they fall down. I mean, this whole exchange is just so good.
Yeah.
Every bit of it was awesome. And then Taker kicks out, and this was another one of those big oh my God moments.
Yeah,
the crowd was worried.
Yep.
And he kicked out, and they marked out huge, and that went into the actual last ride, which was massive. That he had H up so high for that. and then I was kind of worried about the bump because Taker's knees hit right before H hit. So I wonder if it bottomed out the ring a little bit.
For sure. That was a tough bump.
That was a tough bump.
But you're in the pre-main at WrestleMania, ready to go home. Like you're not worried about that.
But I mean, it was a huge power bomb, and the way that H just like flat back bumped it and laid there dead afterwards for the pin. I mean, like it was awesome.
Yeah.
This match was amazing with the one blemish with that crash pad, but otherwise, God, I had so much fun watching this match.
Were all three of today's matches pre-main event also?
No.
They weren't?
No.
The Hell in a Cell wasn't, was it?
No, neither the Hell in the Cell nor the last one.
For sure was, I thought.
I don't think so.
I think it was like in the middle of the show.
That was the one I was pretty sure was. I couldn't remember if the third one was or not. I could be wrong.
The next one definitely was not.
Okay.
I don't think the Bossman one was, but it could have been.
Okay.
I can't swear to it.
Yeah.
We'll find out.
Well, I think it was, but it might not have
All right.
So
we're on the same level of surety there.
So I don't know. What do we think? Do we think that is best Taker WrestleMania match of what we've seen so far?
No, definitely. I definitely don't think it's better than Nash than Diesel.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely don't think it's better
Diesel's
than Diesel.
is really good too.
It's definitely a second for me.
It's up there. I mean, like I don't know. I was really into this.
Yeah.
I haven't watched this in years, and I was loving it. I thought it was awesome.
I watched this match a lot. I used to. This was a go-to for me when I wanted to watch a good match, despite the terrible choke slam.
Yeah.
Spot.
Well, everything else about it.
Yeah.
I mean, like it was just. I mean, it felt like you said, it felt like two superstars in there, like really doing their thing.
Yeah, this was a WrestleMania match.
Yeah, absolutely,
Yep.
no doubt.
And
about
in a I mean, you could probably argue that each of these guys has had at least 3 primes, but they were both in one of them.
Yep,
you know?
They're both in one of their
agree.
primes. Yeah, absolutely. All right, cool. Well, that's gonna bring us then to 2002, The Undertaker versus Ric Flair. I did not remember this match at all.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know why I didn't remember anything about this. So Taker has gone heel by this point.
Yep.
He's the bad guy in this match.
Booger Red.
Booger Red. Yes, I know. I wrote that because I wrote.
Booger Red.
I said, "What's with all this Booger Red talk?"
King was killing me.
Yeah, King.
He
was
just kept hanging on it.
Yeah. What's a Booger Red? JR ignored him
Like
every time.
This match made me realize how much I miss King and JR.
Yeah, for sure. So one thing I want to throw in, like the Booger Red thing, I loved the Booger Red thing because if you guys will remember, that is how the Undertaker went heel, was beating up JR and making him join the Vince McMahon Kiss My Butt Club.
Okay, yeah.
And so that's like how else would a announcer get back at a wrestler who had already beaten him up, other than giving him a stupid nickname and calling him that all the time? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
And he was so adamant about it, Booger Red. Like it just felt like something, and especially JR being like an old Alabama country boy. You know what I mean? Like it just fits so perfect to me.
Right?
Oklahoma. Oh my gosh, Boomer Sooner. My bad, JR. I know you're out there listening. You're JR.
You're upsetting the Undertaker.
He just fell down. He lost his hat.
Sorry, but just that old country boy. It just feels like something. You give him a stupid nickname and just Booger Red.
Got him.
Old Booger Red.
Well,
I thought it
felt like something. I didn't realize it was like a standard thing beyond this match. I thought it was just something that came up here.
Oh no, he called him that through the whole whole heel run.
That's awesome
because
it almost sounded like I've got Southern relatives, and sometimes you just hear things where you're like, that feels like it means something to everybody but me.
Yeah.
So I feel like that maybe everybody in Oklahoma knew what that meant.
Yeah, maybe so. He explained it one time. Not on this show, but he explained where he got it one time.
But King was killing me.
Yeah, King was great.
Was so funny.
All right.
So he does the motorcycle entrance again.
Yep.
And I wrote down he almost ran that dude over.
Because he
for sure almost ran one of them. He almost ran that little photographer dude over. That dude dove for his life.
Yeah.
And, oh my gosh.
Well, he also almost crashed into the announce table.
Yeah, because he stopped it with his hand.
Yeah, barely clipped that and said something to King and JR.
Go home, Taker, you're drunk.
Yeah.
But my very next note was so much punching.
Yeah.
I feel like 80% of this match is these dudes punching each other back and forth.
I mean,
that is like all we got going on.
Ric Flair and the Undertaker. What else are they going to do?
I know. And I'm guessing that's just what it was because Ric Flair however, Ric Flair looked good here, and it's just because we see Ric Flair now,
right?
Yeah. And you see Ric Flair here, and I was like, look how young Ric Flair is, but he wasn't even very young here. I mean,
there's several of the matches with some of these guys. I mean, it's happened to Hogan before, Ric Flair through a wide portion here, even Shawn Michaels to agree. Where I remember at the time thinking, they're starting to look kind of old, and then I go back and watch those same matches now, and I'm like, look how spry these guys are.
I know, right? Because I even kind of was like, wow, I forgot what it was like seeing Flair move like that. Yeah. Well, and he was like, because he came in like House of Fire at the beginning of this match. I was like, look at Ric Flair.
And he's 20 years into his career at this point.
At least. Yeah. I mean, you got to remember, though, Ric Flair was also, like, Ric Flair has been 65 since he was 27.
Totally.
Like he turned he was 27 going on 85.
Even when I was a kid, I thought he was an old man.
Yeah, for sure.
That's the thing.
Like I said, when he first showed up in the WWF, I barely knew who he was because I only watched WWF, and I was like, they're making a big deal out of this old guy.
Yeah. But it was immediately after I wrote, wow, it's kind of cool seeing Flair move like that. I wrote, well, he just botched his own corner spots.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's in my notes, too.
Because it was so wonderfully botched. It was like he tried to do his little backflip thing into the corner, but instead just basically like shoulder drove himself into the turnbuckle.
Just kind of shot up and out and back down.
Hung there for a second, like in midair.
Kicking his legs, trying to get over.
I was like, oof, it looked rough. And then my next note is this match is all punching.
Yeah.
And then I put, Will Sasso. Did you guys see Will Sasso just hanging out in the front row?
Oh, no.
So there's a part where they're over there at the timekeeper's table, and this is the part where I think Rick gigged.
Yeah.
Because Taker's just doing that thing where he's just punching him over and over, and Flair's bleeding, and standing right in the middle of them in the front row is Will Sasso staring at the camera with a big smile like this. Through the entire thing. And I'm like, well, there's Will Sasso just ruining this shot. Because
if you're listening to the audio podcast, pop over to YouTube right now.
Oh, yeah.
You can see Danny doing Will Sasso.
Doing the Will Sasso stare. Yeah. It was ridiculous. Ric Flair obviously gigged and started bleeding all over the place. But also, Taker got a little gash on his cheek and started bleeding.
Which I thought was Flair's blood until they started talking about it.
Because I wrote that down, I said, is there a cut on Taker's cheek? And then I wrote, because they acknowledged it. So he totally got accidentally cut by Flair's gig, right?
Yeah, for
that's
sure.
That's what happens.
Yeah. Yep.
Like during all the punching, it slit Taker's cheek.
Yeah, because Flair is known for being one of the guys who likes to tape it to his finger. Yeah.
So it just accidentally sliced Taker's cheek.
Yep.
I do love that.
But it led to some of the best commentary.
I was going to say, man. Because they kept talking about, JR was like, oh my God, look at Ric Flair. He's bleeding like a stuck pig. And King's like, Flair, look at Undertaker's cheek. You know how many stitches he's going to need for that gash on his cheek?
And then he goes, I guess Flair has a little gash too. Or whatever. King was talking about how it just looks worse on Flair because his hair's blonde.
Yeah.
Because he's like, Undertaker's got dark hair, you can't tell, but it's soaked in blood.
He also said something about, I get it, Booger Red, because of Ric Flair's hair right now. Or something like that. Yeah.
Well, he told JR that if he had that cut on, he'd be in the ICU right now. You had that cut on your cheek, you'd be in the ICU right now.
Dude, this was a very enjoyable match, and I got as much out of the commentary as I did.
For sure,
it was so much fun to listen to. Those guys.
King and JR are legit.
I forgot how great those guys were.
Well, that's the other thing I wrote down here too. Actually, JR was really playing the old man card with Ric Flair. He kept doing the thing he's past his prime. Yeah, you shouldn't be doing that to him, Undertaker. That's how his commentary was going.
So you gotta think back and remember though, Rick was coming out of retirement for this match.
Okay,
Rick had been retired since the end of Nitro, and remember they brought him in. Did you watch the video package for this match?
I missed the video package for this one, and I wish I would have. Because I remember they brought him into as the surprise general manager or whatever.
Yeah, he was the co-owner. He owned 50% of the company.
And
co-owner with Vince.
Yeah.
I remember.
So he was co-owner with with Vince. Yep. He hadn't wrestled or really done anything since the last Nitro at this point. And so when he came in, like this was, and that's why Taker wanted him, Taker, because he was retired. And so Taker had like threatened his family. He went and what did he do? He went and beat up
David.
He went and beat up David at Trax, and then he did something else.
Didn't he kidnap somebody?
Yeah, but who did he kidnap? Oh, no, he attacked Arn Anderson.
Oh, yeah.
Which would make sense for what happens here.
Yeah.
Okay, that's awesome then. Yeah. So in the middle of the blood, did you notice the blood splatter on the ringside camera? That was gross.
Yeah, that was
gross.
Hey, also, like, I'm not a motorcycle guy. Do they generally just have like iron, like lead pipes?
The lead pipe that was just on those.
I mean, I think the idea is that
Taker keeps one there.
Yeah, Taker's a mean old biker. So in case he's got in case him and
in case Johnny Law stops him on the.
In case him and the BSK got to go in and rough up some punks at the. I don't know, Fabulous Tammy's some night or something. He's always got the pipe right there.
The superplex
was amazing.
It was a beautiful superplex, and I specifically wrote down right when they were at the peak of that superplex, all the camera flashes in the arena like blinded the camera. And then I realized how you don't see that anymore because camera flashes don't exist anymore. Everybody uses their cell phone to take pictures, and those rarely flash. So like this is kind of one of those like you don't really have those moments anymore where like when the big moves happen, you see like the shutters all over the arena. But it was like just so noticeable on this one.
It's possible I've seen a prettier superplex in my day, but I can't name one.
Gorgeous, man.
Yeah, man.
Oh my gosh, beautiful.
Perfect.
Ric Flair hit the Arn Anderson out of nowhere, I wrote.
That was such a weird spot.
It was such a weird spot.
He whips him off and then dives out of the way so Arn Anderson can slide in. It was smooth as could be. But what a weird spot. And boy did Anderson pay for that. Like, that was my favorite part. Like, Anderson gets in, gives him one spine buster. Undertaker chases him down outside the ring, beats the crap out of him, throws him in the ring, beats him up some more, and then throws him out of the ring.
Oh my gosh!
Like this was just like Taker. Like I feel like Taker was like, hey Vince, I need to just destroy the Four Horsemen. Like
I know, right? That is totally how this whole match felt because this match did just feel more like a fight. Like there was barely any wrestling in this match. Like we got the superplex. There was the figure 4 leg lock at one point, which ended with him grabbing the choke. And going for like a choke slam, but like selling the leg with the choke slam, which I kind of dug. But aside from that, like it was literally these two dudes punching each other, hitting each other with pipes, hitting each other with the signs.
Super entertaining though.
It was fun. So he goes for the last ride. And I wrote, what happened there? I couldn't tell.
Ric Flair didn't understand how.
That's what I mean.
How power bombs work.
So like, I couldn't. Well, and that's the thing. Like, I couldn't figure it out. I was like, okay, so is this the way they planned it, or like?
I don't think so.
Because this looked.
Because he looked like he was just sort of hanging up in the air again, like not knowing what to do. And then
I think Ric Flair was assuming Tombstone.
Yeah.
Or pile driver.
Right.
Because Ric Flair doesn't. So with the power bomb, you pull it. You guys know I'm explaining for the listeners.
Yeah.
With the power bomb, you lift them up onto your shoulders. They do a sit up onto your shoulders, then you slam them on their back. When Undertaker went to lift him up, he just like laid out down the front of his chest. He didn't Ric Flair didn't even try to sit up. He was just like and like Taker tried to pull him up a couple times, but there just wasn't having any of that. So Taker sat him down and then Tombstone did.
Did Taker get fined again? Was the Tombstone still banned?
I don't remember hearing on that one.
Okay.
I gotta assume they didn't actually get fined anytime, but that was the buzz that they got fined and it was banned. And I'm pretty sure it was banned. I think it's still banned. Pile drivers are still banned to this day. I think so. I assume it would have been banned.
In this case, because I didn't even.
The guys who can afford.
I didn't think about it until you said something at the because I didn't know about that. I mean, I'm sure I've heard about it at the time, but I didn't remember it all. But then I immediately thought of the ending of this match, and then I thought about it. I was like, man, Do they get in trouble if it's just a cover spot when they do it? Because basically, like, they didn't plan on it, but they were just like, well, we got to go somewhere.
Yeah, I have no idea. I remember it making the news of around after WrestleMania 17 was that, Tombstone pile drivers were banned, and Triple H and the Undertaker were both fined, and it was something like, I want to say like $1,500. Yeah. Something that probably didn't even
lose, but they're not gonna.
Yeah, didn't even clip their bonus for the night. Yeah, you know what I mean. But still takes a little bit. So I don't know. I don't remember hearing that. It also wasn't as fresh. Like at the time, it was like pretty new. Yeah. For 17, like it happened in the months leading up to 17. I feel like. Okay. So.
Yeah. Well, the tombstone he hit on Flair was pretty.
It was nice. It was. Well, Ric Flair's light.
yeah. I mean, it looked nice and solid, and like it actually looked.
Well, and he's got the perfect amount of hair for it.
I was gonna say there wasn't like a big hunk of space between. Right. Like it was just. Well, it was pretty.
He's got that deceptive, like he's not one of the long-haired guys where it's just dangling. You can tell it's just dangling, but but it's long enough to where you got plenty of clearance. Yeah. Even though it doesn't look like you do.
Right. So hits him with the tombstone, he gets the pinfall, and then he stands up and punches the ref. I was like, I guess it's Taker's thing.
Yeah. Well, he was so one, it was Lil Nate.
Oh, okay, the ref. The
ref was Lil Nate.
I didn't even make the connection.
Yeah. Okay. But also that was kind of Taker's heel thing. Yeah. Like he just abused everybody in his way.
Okay. Yeah.
Everybody within arm's reach.
All right.
Got a little bit.
Yeah, it was funny.
Yeah.
It was like 1, 2, 3, you win. Great. Just punches that ref in the face. But I also wrote this was that shot too that we see a lot of times in the replays, because he stands on the apron and he counts
them off.
The 10 in his hands and then holds up the 10 for the 10 wins in a row. Yep. So I thought that was cool. I liked that. That was cool.
Yeah. So they're in full on acknowledgement mode for most of this. What we've done here today.
Yeah, definitely. Well, and even like I think the crowd is kind of in that mindset now too.
Because you start seeing the signs.
Like the reactions in the Triple H match, like when they thought that he was gonna lose, like you could tell they were like, oh no, and then he kicked out, and there was like celebration.
Huge pop,
So like the crowd has already been conditioned at this point, like this is a streak and this is a deal. Yeah. So that's cool.
I just want to point out one more thing real quick about this match.
Sure.
Flair versus Taker, that's like two of the greatest of all times.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Neither of them like at a real memorable place in their career. Like it's kind of a shame. You know what I mean? Like this match, you kept talking about how there wasn't a whole lot to this match. It was entertaining to watch. It was fine. I agree with all that. It was kind of lackluster overall, and that's a shame because like this legitimately is two of the greatest of all time.
You're right. Yeah.
Clashing at WrestleMania.
Right.
And it's just kind of, it didn't quite get there. I mean, Flair was not at his best.
Right.
Taker was not at his best, He's
a couple years away from hitting another best, though.
Yeah.
Taker is.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I agree.
I think the worst thing you can say about it, though, was that it wasn't great.
Oh, yeah. It's a fine match. Yeah. It's a fine match.
Well, it's kind of one of those things too. Like people still even nowadays talk about dream matches that never happened.
Yeah.
Everybody wanted to see Sting Undertaker real bad.
Right.
But you have to wonder if that would have been, especially after the matches we saw Sting have when he finally showed up. I mean, it just wasn't there anymore.
If we would have gotten it, at the time that we might have gotten it, then it wouldn't have been.
It wouldn't have been like people wanted like 90s Sting versus 90s Taker, and that would have been amazing.
Yeah.
Or everybody always talks about Austin Hogan too. Like there's no way that could be anything now. You know what I mean? Like both of those guys can't really go. Like Austin hasn't wrestled in how long? Like he can't go like he used to. So
Austin Hogan's a little different, I would say, because we could have had that one. They just decided to do Hogan Flair or Hogan Rock instead.
Yeah.
Like had Hogan and Austin been WrestleMania 18.
Yeah.
Yep. That they'd have been able to put on the kind of show that would have lived up to that.
Oh. But we got.
I don't know if they could have topped what Hogan and Rock.
Hogan and Rock was pretty.
I don't know that they couldn't have, but I don't know that they could have.
I don't know that they could have, but not saying that comparison, but now we got Hogan Rock twice, and now we'll never get Hogan Austin.
Yeah.
You know, like that's what I look at. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true. Well, that's about the time that Austin was mad about all that stuff too. He took his ball and went home. Yeah. Because that was right around all that, right?
Yep.
Cool. All right. Well, that was 3 Undertaker matches. 2 of them were pretty solid. One of them was fantastic. One of them was a dud.
Yes.
But it's we've really
But at
seen.
least we saw him murder a guy.
At least we saw that, I guess. But it's been really cool seeing just kind of his development over all these, because now we've gone straight up from undead mortician, cowboy, whatever, into undead
wizard cult leader.
Yeah, undead wizard cult leader, dark priest guy, into a motorcycle biker dude.
Good old boy motorcycle rider, and then
Chambers of Anarchy.
biker criminal.
And then a biker criminal with lead pipes attached to his bike. Awesome stuff. So what do we have on tap next?
All right, so next we are going to have WrestleMania 19.
Okay.
Which is the handicap match versus A-Train and Big Show.
Oh, good.
Starting off with a bang again.
Yeah, we are. We are also going to have WrestleMania 20, which is another Kane match.
And it's the Return of the Dead Man,
It is the Return of the Dead Man.
And the build-up to that was amazing.
Mark.
I know.
I'm not even going to bother trying to talk during that one. I'll just let you... Just let you joygasm.
Yeah.
Then we have WrestleMania 21, which is Orton.
Legend Killer Orton?
Randy or Bob?
Legend Killer Randy Orton. And we'll do WrestleMania 22, which is the casket match against Mark Henry. World's Strongest Man.
Mark Henry. So we got 4 matches for the
next
matches.
One. The rest of them are going to have 4 matches.
So
we'll be at 4 matches.
We are halfway through our journey, so we have 3 episodes left, each of them with 4 matches each to catch us up to the end of the streak.
The end of the streak.
Good stuff. Well, do your homework, guys. Go watch those matches. That way you can join in on the conversation with the next episode of the Streak Easy. As a reminder, we are available on YouTube in video format, as Jonathan mentioned in the middle of the show. So if you prefer to do podcasts in video format, please head on over there and check it out and hit that subscribe button for us. We are trying to break 500 subscribers right now. It's pretty awesome. We're almost there. So help us out with that. And if you like the audio versions, we're on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, Podbean, all of those different apps. So definitely download us, check us out, review us, rate us, all that good stuff. And don't forget to listen to the feed also, because we have 2 other podcasts that we're doing on this feed right now. We've got Marvel Good Yay, which is our show all about the Marvel Cinematic Universe as we lead up to Avengers Endgame. And then, of course, there's the regular episodes of the Geek Easy Podcast, which have had a lot of wrestling in them lately. Yeah. So if you like wrestling, we're talking about that there too. So good stuff. All right, guys. Well, that's going to wrap up this episode of the Streak Easy. So until next time, thanks for listening.
Bong.
The Geek Easy Podcast is a production of PixelDan.com. Musical tracks used in the intro and outro are used with full permission of the respective owners or creators. Intro and outro narrations are provided by me, Brian T. Stevenson. PixelDan.com's The Geek Easy Podcast is provided for entertainment purposes only. The views expressed are those solely of the hosts or guests, and do not necessarily represent those of PixelDan.com or any other party. Be sure to join us next time for another installment of the Geek Easy Podcast.
Welcome back to the... John jumped.